you want to make content creation your full-time job, but you don't have influencer numbers to be able to back it up, I got your back because I'm watching women every single day sign $5,000 per month deals with less than 1,000 Instagram followers, and I'm going to walk you through how to do it in this video as well. If you're new here, my name is Natalie Draw, and I became a full-time content creator by the time I was 19 years old, and I turned my content creation into a full-time content agency for myself, where I ended up building a team of over 20 people. We've produced more than 2,000 pieces of content every single month for brands around the US. And my content agency ended up morphing into a content creator recruitment firm because I can't be the face of every single brand in the world. It doesn't make sense. So I guess you could say I've really worked the creator economy from every angle imaginable. The only problem with what I was doing was, unfortunately, I would pitch, let's say 10 to 15 different content creators for one brand to be the face of their company. And unfortunately, only one creator would get selected, right? So then 9 to 14 creators were left without really anything. They were left pretty empty-handed and pretty upset. So what I ended up doing was I turned everything that I had done in my agency as a creator into materials that I could teach other creators how to do. And I launched that in January 2025. It's a women's only creator academy. And since then, it's just been really incredible to get to watch so many women take their own finances into their hands. So many women take their own business into their hands, because I don't want anybody to have to rely on a manager, rely on an agency, and not that those are bad. But when you do rely on those different types of businesses, you don't have your finances in your control. So my entire thought process has been, okay, let's show women how to be able to do this. That way they can take life into their own hands. So many of my students have surpassed the $10,000 months, the $20,000 months, and even into the $70K months, which has just been insane to get to watch. But like I said, if you're new here, my name is Natalie Draw. I'm 23 years old. I live on acreage in Nashville, Tennessee, and this is my life. In all seriousness, the average creator is making $10,000 a year. That's it. 10K a year. Now, that's including influencers, that's including UGC creators, that's everybody. Like, the average person that says I'm a content creator makes $10,000 from creating content a year. And now I want to be super clear. If that's you, congrats. I'm very happy for you. I used to be super excited about those years for myself as well, but I got excited because I thought that that was the end all be all. Like, 10 grand from creating content is fantastic, but then when you kind of zoom out and you recognize, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and I'm only making 10 grand. Like, there's so much more that you could be doing. And I think that the biggest reason that you're not doing that right now is just because you don't know how to. Every single day, I have creators. Nope, let me backtrack. Every single day, I have influencers in my DMs saying things like, I have hundreds of thousands of followers, yet I don't even make a consistent $1,000 from this. Now, here's the thing. A really wise person once told me that she would much rather be rich and anonymous than popular and poor. And I could not agree more with that. I'm going to be super honest, guys. Like, I was 21 when I became a millionaire, and I was the face of dozens of different companies creating hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content every single month, and no one even knew my name, like, at all. I think the only thing that people knew me for at that point was competing in pageants and modeling, which was cool, and that's super fun and a really neat thing to be known for. However, no one even knew what I was doing because I kept it so under wraps and I wasn't posting about it publicly anywhere. And so it was kind of crazy that you can make so much money as a creator and nobody know you. I actually think a really good example of this is my dad, of all people. He doesn't have TikTok. Actually, I take that back. He's got TikTok, but I think he's got like 10 followers. And he has an Instagram where he only posts beer, my mom, and where they travel together, which I think is amazing. And he only has, I think, like 250 Instagram followers. That's it. There's no K behind that. It's just 200. And he secured every single brand I ever pitched him to. I think his highest paying month was a little over 30K in closed contracts. Insane. Insane. He had never created content before. He'd only ever helped me. Like, he had never created content, and he was doing that because we just applied what I did to my dad, because I had brands come to me where it was like very clear that a 40-something-year-old man should be the face of that company. One was like a golf company. Another one was a construction company, because my dad works in construction. And for my dad, who doesn't even have 1,000 followers, to be able to do that, I think that was like the biggest eye-opening experience of like, okay, influencers you're not making the money that, we all think that you might be. And I think another really good signifier of this is a lot of people look at followers and they think, yep, that person's automatically making money because they've got a million followers. I can't be more direct with you guys when I say the amount of people that have come to us with hundreds of thousands of followers, like 200,000 followers plus on Instagram, a million followers on TikTok, being like, please manage me because I do not know how to get deals, is insane. And that kind of goes against the entire premise of my academy, which is like take some self agency and take your own work into your own hands. So I want to put it out there that influencers who have got hundreds of thousands of followers, just because they have the followers doesn't mean that they're making money. They don't know how to monetize. And I think it comes down to two skills. One, how do you market yourself? Which, if you're an influencer and you have the followers, it means that you know how to market yourself. But part two is you don't know how to sell yourself. And part three is you don't have a good offer for brands. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, those are really the biggest things. How do we get those deals if we do not have followers? It comes down to one thing. Where do you have a leg up as a person, as just like a human being, that other people don't? So I have a lot of creators that come to me because I predominantly work with female creators saying like, oh, I want to work in, sorry, I've got a hair. Sorry. I want to work with hair products. I want to work with beauty products. I want to work with clothing companies. Okay, so does every single woman in the world. Like, can we be a bit more original? And I don't mean that to be rude. Like, for sure, work with the companies that you want to work with. Just don't expect to get paid for it. So, like, a great example is I have a pretty big leg up with blue collar businesses. That's the industry that my parents work in, and that's the industry that I know a lot about. I grew up on the job site with my dad, and I would literally make cupcakes every single day. That was my first business. And I would go and sell cupcakes, cakes, and different desserts to drywallers, to electricians, to plumbers, because they're all like family to my family. And so that is the industry that I thoroughly enjoy working with because I know so much about them. And that's my leg up, because most female creators don't want to work with plumbers and electricians. I do. I think that they're really cool. I really know that I can help them as a marketer, as a creator. And I actually had a creator pitch me today what her offer was, and she is working specifically with, how did she phrase this? Pediatric therapy. That's what she's doing. And her background is in psychology and teaching. And she's had a lot of students go through these different situations where they just don't know how to learn and their parents don't know how to teach them. And so she's going after companies to be able to help any children that have got disabilities be able to learn better. And she is going to create content for those companies. And I think that those maybe more boring businesses are very generally overlooked by creators, but they still need marketing too. So my biggest piece of advice to you is find what makes you unique and start creating content about it. Have an offer of going after companies that you actually have a leg up with. Stop being so generic. You are so much more unique than that. Your offer needs to be so much more unique than that. Like, just dig a little bit deeper. Part two is learn how to sell. So many creators are using these beautiful little Canva templates and it's dead. Okay. We need to stop using those. Stop reaching out via email and trying to sell brands just via email. Get them onto a call with you. Actually care about their business. Understand what they need as a company so that way you can sell them better. I don't know why creators have just like thrown out all business etiquette. All business etiquette. You go into any other industry and you are getting onto sales calls to actually sell your client. And guess what? You'll make more money doing that because you actually care. You're showing that you care about the brands that you work with. So maybe, just maybe, stop throwing out the entire business sense behind every other company in the world and start applying it to your creator business. So start getting on the phone with companies. Don't be afraid to have them on a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet and sell them. Okay. Part three is, this is something that I see so many creators just don't do. That is put actual, I'm going to sound like such a guru when I say this, so I'm going to preface that, but put systems into your company as a creator. I keep watching creators get stuck into this freelance cycle of, well, I'm doing this for this brand and I'm doing this differently for this one and this one differently. Everything that you offer should be fairly similar to what you're offering each company, because when you do that, you can actually build repeatable systems and a repeatable process that you put your clients through. A really great example of this is I can work with one company and have no systems systems, and that's completely fine. But company A, maybe their communication system is on WhatsApp, but then their project management system is on Notion, and what else? Oh, maybe where they store their videos is on Google Drive, right? But then I'm going to work with another company, and where that company stores their videos at is on Dropbox. Their communication is going to be on Slack, and then their project management system is Discord. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Like, if you've got 6 different companies that you're working with and all of them have got different systems, you can't scale your business as a creator, which I know that might be foreign to a lot of creators. If you want to hit, and again, this is a big if you want to scale to, let's say, 50, 75, even $100,000 months as a creator, you need to have your own systems that you're onboarding clients to. So for example, if a brand wants to work with me, I onboard them to my Slack channel. They are going to communicate with me on my Slack channel. If anytime I onboard a client, I onboard them to my client portals inside of Notion. Every single client I have has their own client portal. Every single client I have has got their own Dropbox folder file. Folder file, same thing. Every single client I work with has got their own folder and file. Now, another really big piece of this is a lot of creators never actually think about hiring, but if you want to have a team of copywriters, of editors, of customer success managers, like what I've done, then you're going to need to have systems that all of those people know how to work in. If you do not have your own systems, do not expect to grow your company as a creator. And that's how I've gotten to six-figure God, that sounds so guru-y. And that's how I've gotten to six-figure months, is through doing those 3 things: building an offer that makes me stand out, learning how to sell that offer, and number 3, building good operations around my company, around myself, and around my employees. Which I would say all 3 things are things that creators do not do, which is why the average creator makes $10,000 per year. So with all of that said, you do not need to have followers to make money as a creator. In fact, what you do need is to have a good offer. You need to learn how to sell that offer, and you need to know how to fulfill on that offer. That's it. Following count doesn't matter anymore. The business acumen behind a creator is what matters. Creative entrepreneurship is growing rapidly, and the ones who are going to come out on top are the ones that are acting like business owners instead of freelancers. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.